Welcome to the $1 Million Equation Podcast, a podcast about the easiest, fastest way to build $1 million business based on the best-selling book, The $1 Million Equation. If you love business, each episode reveals all of the core fundamental essentials for growth. Now, here's your host, Richelle Shaw.
Hey there, going live this Wednesday because I get questions. So I love reading your comments on my videos, answering the questions that you might have, and helping you build your own business and getting it to where you want it to go. Because I think I mentioned in one of the videos that, entrepreneurship is probably one of the loneliest professions on the planet. We're constantly working 24 hours. I used to tell my employees, really, you only work for the 8 hours you get here, and some of them you don't really work that much. Oftentimes it's 2 days, it's 2 hours, you are not here. But I am here to answer your questions, but I'm working 24/7. I'm thinking about my business. I'm thinking about the business in the shower. I'm thinking about the business as I drive around town. I'm constantly thinking about business. So I'm here to help you out today and answer some of your questions. So I got a couple that were on, so, forgive me for reading them, but I wanted to make sure that I answered them exactly how you had it. So this one actually is from, here we go. Okay, so James Moore made a comment on my video about understanding strategy is the key. And he said, well, no one goes into business to fail. And so I'm here to agree with you. You're right. Nobody goes in business to fail. However, a lot of times we jump in too quick and we don't know why we're doing something. We're just doing it. So what do I mean by that? As a consultant and going in to help businesses, I'll get the consultant tell me immediately what exactly he wants me to do in his business. And I'll say, okay, so why are we doing that? Well, to get customers. Well, how do you know that that's going to get customers, right? And so a lot of times I think that we get caught up in being excited about the tactic without knowing the strategy behind the tactic, right? Another one I hear all the time is people going, oh, well, they want me to sit and do a free consultation and they're just trying to pick my pocket. I go, But if that's in your strategy, you need to be able to tell people, when you charge for something and when they've crossed the line. So even when people are asking me questions on here, I'll tell them, hey, list what your question is, because I'm going to do a Facebook Live, and probably that same question that you're asking, it will help me answer it for other people. So that's important too, that you get to figure out how you conduct your business and what you do. Hey, Claudia. Hey, Tanisha. How are you? It's good to see you here. All right. So here was another question that I got. And it is, okay, how can I get financial support? I'm in a transportation business. I've been running it for 7 months now. I'm making money, but not really making it. How can I get a grant or something? And so I think I answered that a little while ago, but here I will answer that one again. And that is this, is that you've been in 7 months. Why do we think that we can work at a job 30 years and that's not too long, but as soon as we get in the business that it should be at $1 million level immediately? That's not going to happen. It's going to take some time, and you need to be able to look at the business and assess it for where it is based on how much effort that you are putting in it. Yeah. So 7 months is, you're not going to build $1 million business in 7 months. You're not going to build a $500,000 business in 7 months. Is that sad to know? Yeah, it is sad to know. But I've also been doing this 30 years. Yeah. So we look at and we compare our business to other people's businesses and don't look at what that journey was. So how is it that I'm able to sit and do a Facebook Live and say something different every time? Well, because, there you go. You see all that gray? Because I've been here a minute. I am officially an OG in this business game. I wrote my first commercial at 19. At 19, I wrote my first radio commercial. So have I been able to do this a little while longer? Yes. So what I want you to do is be able to look at your business and be able to assess it based on where it is in the continuum of you're doing this forever. You're going to be doing this for a long time, and stop with the I need to have immediate results right now, because you're not going to get them. So the best thing is go back to your job. So they'll ask me, I got, okay, well, Richelle, what's the one thing I can do right now? I go, okay, what's the one thing you can do right now is what are you already doing? You can do more of what's working. But they never say that. Oh, well, I did this. I spent, $200 and I only made back $300. Okay. Your business requires an investment. There's no way that you're going to spend $200 and get back $100,000. And if you keep searching for that, if you keep looking for that, you are going to be in a perpetual state of uneasy and frustration. A perpetual state of uneasiness and frustration, because you want to do the least amount but get the most back. Doing the least amount will get you the least amount back. Okay? Doing the most will give you the most back. Does that make sense? Yes. So Tanisha is right. The microwave generation, they're waiting 2 minutes for the macaroni and cheese to warm up is too long. It's like, you remember, to make it right, it takes 2 hours. But now that's too long for them. They want everything right now, and they don't want to put in all of the work that it takes. So here, I'll go back to, I got another question. So you'll have to bear with me. Okay, so just reaching out. I have an amazing business module. However, I need a support system. I need to build confidence back after hitting my head so much, from the negative family members to little to no financial assistance. I'm not well mentally, if I'm truthful. And are there any support groups or counsel for young entrepreneurs who are fighting to stay afloat? So my answer to you is, John Cole, is that, first of all, our mental armor is the most important thing in our businesses. So I start every morning getting my head right. I don't start every morning with tactics. I start every morning with who am I and whose I am and making sure that I am clear about who I am. So that's the first thing that I would recommend, is that you don't just jump into the business, that you start every morning getting clear about who you are and why you're doing this, because nobody is going to be on your team until you're winning. Okay? No one wants to be on your team when it's horrible. When, my gas was off for 18 days. Nobody wanted to be on my team then. And then all of a sudden they saw me on TV and everybody wants to be on my team. It's like, oh, no. No, you forget, right? So part of that is an amazing business module is one of the things that I had to do, right? Because losing $100 million is never fun. Losing $100,000 is never fun. But one of the things that I had to do with my amazing business modules is I had to do them. So I talk about the $1 million equation all the time, because I live the $1 million equation every single day. I do exactly what I wrote, what I created. And that's what brings me back the confidence that I need, is that I prove that the $1 million equation works every single day. So, what would I recommend for you, John? It would be to work your business model. Work it so that it works for you. Work to make sure that it's working. And then if you need some financial support, there's nothing wrong with going and getting a gig. So have I ever done that? Absolutely. And what it did was it got me back into, I can't work for nobody else. And it gave me everything that I needed to get back into the saddle to keep doing it. So all the time, I always want to work on, business strategies with folks, but it's always fixing this up here and making sure that, even the last guy that was talking about, he's been doing this 7 months and he's uneasy. It's like 7 months. I want to congratulate you for doing it 7 months, because there's a lot of people who've only done it 7 days and gone back to their job, right? Or they do it like that first year. This is like an in-between time. This is not what you're really set out to do. So I believe that when you are an entrepreneur, like it forward and backwards. Like if going to work makes you itch, if it gives you a rash, if you are absolutely unhappy, then I say do what you can do until it's time for you to do what you really want to do. One of the things that makes your business successful is all of those things that makes you a successful employee, right? It is the tenaciousness, the dedication, the discipline, all those things that you hate doing at your job. Well, that's what's going to make you a great employee. So go do it for somebody else for a little while, take their money, stack your chips, so that then you can come out bigger and better. Or suck it up, buttercup, and make it happen. Eat beans and rice every day. You can get the biggest bag ever and you can survive this. But you want to have steak every night. You can't have steak every night, not when you're an entrepreneur. You will go up and you will go down. And so it's understanding that you go up and go down, and how you live, what your habits are in between those is what keeps your mind all right. I drive a 2011 car. I mean, it's a Lexus, but it's still 2011. Why? Because it's got 80,000 miles on it. Because my car still runs. Because the air conditioning is still cold. I live in Las Vegas, so I need it to be cool. So why would I go get a brand new car? It makes no sense. Right? But everybody, and here's the reason why you want the brand new car. If I tell you the truth, shame the devil, right? Is you want a brand new car because you want to show people that you've made it. You want to show people the fruits of your labor. But you got to get over that. You showing people does nothing. It does absolutely nothing for your bank account except for hurt it. So you don't want to be in this so that you can show people. You want to be in this so that you can change lives. And first and foremost, your own. Ooh. Yeah. First and foremost, your own. Not so that you can show other people. Okay. I had to create it. Grass-fed production, but would love to network with other people. Okay, good. Glad he wants to network with us. Okay. This one said, beautiful hair. Okay, thanks. I appreciate it. These other ones, are you married? You always get that. What's that about? Really? Stop it. Stop it. Okay. Now I got one from John Rugg, the Rugg guy. Hold on, because I wanted to definitely reply to him. All right. So Rugg Don. Hi, Rugg Don. Hopefully you're here or you will see this later. He said, hey, Richelle, don't want to tell the whole world my personal business, but I guess my testimony will help those that are in a similar predicament. I am a single father of 4, and I've spent all savings and resources on starting a night lounge inside a banquet hall. I'm going to try to make this as short as possible with telling all my business on here, but I started this lounge in the community I come from and the intentions of using most of the proceeds to fund an organization, which is really nice. I'll skip that part. So this lounge has been doing okay, but not good enough to accomplish the goals I've set out to achieve. Part of the biggest problem is lack of funds to host a big show that other clubs are doing, and I don't know what to do. I've never been to college. I'm from the streets, but I've turned my life around. I'm building and working on my credits, but how can you help me? I've taken a huge chance on myself, and I'm still going 2 years later. Okay, so what do I say to Rugg Don is, first of all, I am super proud of you. And number two is you need to be grateful for the 2 years that you didn't know what you were doing and you jumped in and did it anyway and you survived 2 years. Okay, what are you mad at? I think he's frustrated about he hasn't been able to accomplish the goal that he wanted to. Okay, that's all in due time. All in due time. 2 years, we all want to rush it. What I said earlier about the microwave generation, right? That Tanisha talked about. We all want to rush this thing instead of, one of the challenges that I used to have is, so I built it from 300,000 to 36 million. I did it really quickly. Most of my clients get results really quickly. And so when I went to open my agency where I only helped doctors, I was frustrated about the fact that I didn't get to $1 million my first year. Had the face, right? It's like, here I am, the money honey. I do all the financial segments on our local Fox 5. Here I am teaching people every day how to build their own $1 million business. And what's going on? It took longer than a year. Not looking at, I had generated a ton of cash in a short amount of time. I'd helped several doctors build their own $1 million practices during that year. I had wrote a brand new book that was all to doctors. I had so many accomplishments, but I was so focused on the fact that I had done it before that I didn't give myself a break. And so this is what I say to Rug Don. Look here, give yourself a break. First of all, you're doing phenomenally well. And you're going to be in good shape as long as you don't quit, right? As long as you don't quit. But my tips for you is, number one, I don't know everything about your business, so I always give that caveat. But the first thing I'd be doing is, number one, you said you're in a banquet hall. So I would use every asset that you have, because everybody thinks that it's money that's stopping them. And I say it's not your resource. It's that you are not being resourceful with what you have to work with. Okay. So I rebuilt my $1 million business with no money, no rich uncle, no nothing. Every single dollar that I put in the business had to come back 2-3-fold, or else it wasn't going to work. Right. So this is what I want you to do. That space, while you're not having the lounge at night, it needs to be rented out in the day. So I'd be writing lists of people that would lease my space during the day so that I would know, okay, here's another revenue that's coming in for my business. I would make sure that I wouldn't try to do exactly what other clubs are doing. So that fact that you said that in your message, that, this is what other clubs are doing and this is why they're making more money. Number one, you don't know that for sure. Number two, you think that's the only way because you're just been myopic and thinking that's the only way that I'm going to be successful. I say that there's another way that you can be successful. So let's look at the business. Let's focus on this business and see, what are the assets? I'd love for you to write them all down. Is it that you are in a good location? Is it that, you can be open 24 hours? Is it that you serve alcohol? Is it that you don't serve alcohol so that you can have other groups come in of younger people? What else do you have in the business where you can make money from it? It's never that you have no money. It is never that. And when I hear people say that, I'm going, yeah, it means that you haven't really looked at it. It means that you haven't looked at your business other than this one way. So, did I go to college? I did, but I did everything I could do to get out quickly. College wasn't where I learned this. I learned it from doing it every single day and saying, look, I need to make sure that my kid gets to eat. My mother with breast cancer, she needs to go to the doctor. I need to figure this out. And when your back is up against the wall, you try things that you would never try. So I looked at every asset in my business. What are they? You have a cell phone that works every day or is still on for the next 30 days. Who can you call to get to come to your facility? But everybody thinks that, I opened it and now I don't have to do anything else. No, this business, whatever your business is, require you to do so many things consistently. consistently to get the money cash flowing. The next thing I would do is I would look at your numbers, and I would look at it per month to see if you have different times in your business that produce more revenue. If it is, then I would look to see, well, why was that important? Why was this month important? Why was that day important? Is it Friday, Saturday, and Sunday where you make the most money? Are you not making money on Sundays? Maybe you should have an after church brunch that comes in after Sundays and have different church groups come and sing. Okay, so the church group's going to come, and guess what? The other people are going to come with them so that they can watch them. And that's what you promote. So now you have a day that is now being used that wasn't being used, that was just sitting there, right? Tip after tip after tip. I've got a million of them, but there's ways that you can utilize your business, your facility, everything else that's working. Here you are, a single dad. So have other single dads come and use it. Maybe you have a homework zone after school because you're a single dad. Your kids have homework that they need to do. So you have people come, instead of going safety, they come to Safe Key or to the babysitter, or they're sitting at home by themselves. Maybe they come to your facility and do homework. So you have, older kids helping the little ones do the homework. You charge $10 an hour. You get 100 kids in there. There's an extra $1,000. Yes? Okay. So it is truly about putting together items and utilizing every moment and everything that you are doing in your business so that it works. Everything that you're doing in your regular life so that it works every day, right? But if you just go in and go, okay, well, I got a website, go check out my website. I want to vomit. So what? I go to your website and do what? What do you want me to do when I get there? What am I supposed to do when I get there? What happens next after I get there? What are you selling while we're there? Who are you selling while you're there? Okay, that answered that one. Hopefully that made sense to everybody.
Thank you so much for listening to my passion project and the $1 Million Equation podcast. Love what you're hearing? If you like it, I love it. So click the subscribe button to get each week your new favorite episode.
Let's see. See if I had another question. Another one that I hadn't opened. Okay, this one says, we fail at a lot of things. So here we are once again with, you never opened a business before, or you have, and you expect not to fail. So you are going to constantly have issues if you don't understand that business is about failure. And you have to be okay with failure. So I'm okay with failure. I'm all right. I've failed more times than the law allows. I'm okay with that. And I have to be okay with that. Does it feel like a sucker punch? Absolutely. Am I mad? Yep. Hotter than a hornet's nest. However, you have to understand that failure is part of the process, and that so many successful entrepreneurs have failed too. But in the end, they just decided to get up again, right? So I talk to folks all the time. I just came off a 28-city tour across the United States. And when I'm there, I inevitably get a person who says, Richelle, I'm just really ready to change my life. And I said, okay, well, are you ready for people to question you? Do you have a tough skin? On the second day, I make them move their chairs and they have to sit in a different seat. And you could see how pissed off people are because I changed their seats. I go, so you're not ready for business? No, I just like it the way I like to sit in a certain, of course you do. And that's what you think your business is going to be, but that's not going to happen. I do it on purpose to see how they're going to react, because business every day is a change, and you have to be flexible. You have to be ready to adjust to the business and be ready for what's going to happen next. And if you're not ready for it, and if you're frustrated by it, it's always going to be an overwhelm, and it's never going to be good. Ever. Because if you run your business from overwhelm, then how can you give to others? How can you change their lives? How can you really be of service if you are constantly in overwhelm? Right? You have to release that. You have to just do what you're supposed to do. Put your head down and do the work. Alrighty, so that's all that I had from my Facebook page that folks asked. If you have a question, you could over there or over there, I don't know, type it in the comments, let me know. By the way, next week I have a free live web class coming where we're going to spend about an hour working on growth strategies, on what you can do right now in your business to see it turn around and see it grow consistently like you want it to be. That's going to be next week. If you'd like to know about that, put that in the comments too, so that we can make sure that we are notifying you of the free web class. I'm going to be there live. It's not some recorded crazy stuff. I'm going to be there just like I am here, answering all your questions, figuring out, what your next step is. Oh, there was one other thing that one of the gals asked me. She's got a shoe store online on a web page, and she said, do I have any tips for her? She's doing some direct mail, and she said, do you have any other tips? I was like, yes, I do. Of course, I've got a million of them. Here's the challenge though. Without knowing what your goal is, then I don't know what tips to give you. So that's just a sneak peek of next week of what the web class is going to be about, is figuring out what is your goal. Is your goal to sell more shoes? Is it to acquire more customers? Is the goal to get your name out there? Is your goal to become a brand that everybody knows? Is your goal to sell out of old inventory? What's your goal? If I don't know what your goal is, then how am I supposed to make it happen? Hi Tanisha. Okay. What's a creative way to draw people to a conference less than 30 days away, butts and seats? Easiest way is to give it away for free. Right? Okay. If you want them to pay, then you have to create some urgency. Why should I come to your conference? And other than pretty pictures, is there a reason for me to come? What am I going to learn? Time is valuable. People want the microwave. So they want to know right now before they commit to spending a day with you, spending 2 hours with you, spending 2 days with you, right? They want to know what it is. So creative ways of getting butts and seats is, I don't think you need to be really creative. I think you need to be just consistent with what your message and what you're delivering. Is it, who are you talking to? So who's supposed to come? That's where I always start with, is who's supposed to be there? It's not everybody. Is it women? Is it men? Is it older women? Is it people who want a second career? Is it people who are just starting in their career? Is it brand new businesses? Is it established businesses? Is it people who have already written their book? Is it people who haven't written their book yet? Who is it? Who is it that's supposed to be there? And making sure that you've got that message correct to them, so that when I look at it, I go, oh my gosh, I can't wait to show up there. Or, you know what? That's not for me. Right? So your message should say both those things at the same time, calling out exactly who should be there and making sure that those who shouldn't be there don't, because they just waste space. Yeah? Okay. That's the quick, easy answer, really quick. Oh, come on. Good, Michael. I'd love for you to join us. Tasha, hi. I want to be notified. Gotcha. I'll make sure. Danielle, I'd love to know about it. Yay. I can't wait. Melody, love and light. Back to you, beautiful. All right. Tanisha said, "Ooh, I want them to pay, not free." Yes, ma'am. So in order to pay, in order to invest, right, they're going to invest in themselves. So if we want them to invest in themselves, then it has to speak directly to them. What's in it for them? Why should I come? It's not a 2 hour, right? It should be 10 words or less. Why should I come? Why should I come? Why should I invest that time? Because people are not only investing their money, but they're investing their time. So, I get folks all the time that go, oh my gosh, I'm going to have a free event, right? And I just laugh and I go, okay, so why should they come to a free event? They're investing their time too. But here's, okay, real secret before I jump off, because I do have an appointment that's in 10 minutes and I got to drive there, is I would go after everybody who's already gotten their ticket and give away a gift or something if they bring a friend or refer a friend to your page. Okay. That's my free one. So I'd make sure that I was constantly going after and say, hey, Tanisha, I'm so excited that you're already coming. Hey, who else do you know that needs to come? Who, here's who it's for people who are brand new to writing, brand new in business, brand new to whatever, or established or frustrated, who wants to finally get that book out, who wants to, yeah, that's who we want to see. And we've only got so many seats left. So make sure that you have. So now you are doing it. By the way, I found with every event that I've ever done that, oh, you like that? I got a million of them. But what I found with most people are last minute people. Okay. That's why it's so important to never give up. Because most folks register at the last minute. You have to create the scarcity for them. So I would have a countdown, we're doing this in 30 days or less, either be here or fear of missing out. You're going to miss out if you don't get here for blank, blank, blank. I would be doing overviews of all of your speakers who are there. I'd make sure that the people who are presenting to their list and telling them that this is the one and only time that they can come see you, that they've done a specific presentation just for their list. I would be pushing as hard as possible and having a countdown to the amount of seats that I have for the amount of days. And this is the time where you really get paid for all those other 5 months of planning. It's now, and it's just putting the pedal to the metal. It's not posting over and over again. It's making sure that you have concrete. Yeah, you can do bring a friend to September 5th, but whatever date is I'd be doing it to the last minute, or I would give it to them. Look, it's by September 5th. You need to do that now. You can do that now at $10 off or at $20 off. You can do it, up until the day before with paying full, of course, and we'll make sure that they can sit next to you. But if you do it now, then you can be at the same table as your friends and you guys can make a girls trip of it, or this is the time that you're recommitting to your business. Yeah. So that's what I do. Thanks, Tamala. Nice to see you. I always love great ideas. All right. Really. So they're going to be mad that I'm late. So I'm jumping off. At the end of the day, as I always tell you, I love you for free. And I hope to see you next week on the free 90-minute web class where we could go deep dive into what's going on. You'll have a checklist before and some other stuff that you need to do so that you're prepared to take off running when we get together. I don't know what time it's going to be because I don't know what my schedule is next week. It's volleyball season. And so it's time to be super mom too to my mini. So as I said, love y'all for free. And I'll see you next week. If you have any other questions, you can put them there. You can post it anywhere on my page. I pretty much see those. My assistant does too. So if I don't immediately reply, just know that I am thinking about you and I'll get to it as soon as I can. All right. Talk soon. See y'all. Bye.